The bridal shop's bell rang as I entered. Open the door, the sound is as bitter as the flavor in my mouth amidst the wilderness of. I observed my sister, who was tall and dressed in white silk. Emma is spinning in front of a three-way intersection. Reflect our mother wiping away her tears. Oh Emma, your mother said, you look stunning. The wedding dress is simply wonderful. Likely exceeds the expenses of the majority. Did she pay her monthly salary? Purchasing it using my funds, Sarah. Emma's visage illuminated with feigned joy upon witnessing. I was contemplating my reflection in the mirror. What do you believe is worth showing up for? My name is Sarah, and I account for all cash. Mitchell and I uncovered my findings 2 weeks ago. My sister depleted my savings account of $78,000 to finance her ideal wedding. Funds I had accumulated over several years for my own future lost in a succession of unauthorized actions. Transfers throughout my business travel. How could you, Emma? I maintained a subdued tone. Aware of the other patrons. Exploring the vicinity constituted my entirety. She turned to face me entirely. Innocence and bewilderment. Oh please, Sarah. Do not be overly dramatic, I will reimburse you. Ultimately, she adjusted her bodice displays the intricate design. The significance of TTO's wedding to me. Each of us is significant enough to be stolen from. Your sister's theft is quite unattractive. Hannah groaned while scrutinizing her. I like to consider it again. If I had borrowed, you would have declined. Requested, and Jason and I require this wedding. To achieve perfection, one must consider the nature of his family. Indeed, Jason Reynolds, Emma's fiancé. Heir to the Reynolds legacy of old wealth. Antiquated nomenclature, antiquated anticipations, the nature of family that would regard others with disdain. From our distinctly middle-class upbringing. If the wedding was not conducted properly. Opulent mother, to whom I turned. Developed an abrupt fascination with a rack. Are you genuinely comfortable with veils? She hesitated to meet my gaze. Emma did indicate that she will reimburse you. This wedding is very magnificent. A chance for her and for all of us, indeed. The Reynolds family possesses numerous. I was astonished by the links I observed. I was listening, but perhaps I could reconsider. Emma had consistently been the favored one. An attractive individual who is a social butterfly. Could extricate herself from any predicament via charm. I was the accountable individual, the reliable one. The one who exerted effort and accumulated savings. Meticulously as Emma darted from one. Transitioning from one costly indulgence to another. Are you not with the police? Emma's voice had diminished in its sweetness. You are sharply turning, that is the reason you are here. She threatened me as I met her stare in the mirror. How did you obtain access to my? She has the beads on her account. The garment captures the light effectively. It is advisable to alter your passwords with more frequency. Sarah is utilizing her mother's birthday for. Not everything is entirely secure. The nonchalant manner in which she confessed to it puzzled me. Blood boiled, but before I could react, the phone vibrated with an incoming text message when I looked down at it. The display prompted a transition of my rage into. I am not determined about anything else, Emma. Stated while returning my phone to my. I will not report this to the police. Nonetheless, she arched an eyebrow. Why are you skeptical of my abrupt tranquility? I have come to inform you that I am aware. And to provide you an opportunity to accomplish this. Indeed, Emma's laughter resembled the sound of tinkling glass, or what you will communicate to Jason. He would not trust you more than he trusts me. No one ever does, she was correct about that. That Emma had consistently excelled. Deceiver, the superior manipulator, yet what she. I was unaware that I possessed anything she did. Lacked evidence not only of her larceny but of something significantly more detrimental than the text. I just received a message from Marcus. Private investigator I had engaged subsequent to uncovering the larceny obtained what you. A raid meeting is required at 2 p.m. to examine the findings you possess until the. I requested the return of my funds for the wedding. Departing from every aspect of it, or what? Emma taunted me with her voice as she called out. What will you do, Sarah? I paused, gazing back at her from the doorway. Radiant in her pilfered gown, you'll determine the quality of the autumn air outside. Crisp, bearing the aroma of decayed foliage. I glanced at my watch briefly. It's time to arrive at Marcus's office. As I traversed the town, I contemplated how things had point. Emma and I have never been close, despite our mother's influence. Optimal endeavors 3 years apart in age. Were diametrically opposed in every aspect. Was significant during my part-time employment. Navigated my collegiate experience and established my professional trajectory in. Emma fluctuated between costly marketing options, educational institutions, and unsuccessful entrepreneurial endeavors. Consistently endorsed by our parents. Indulgence meeting with Jason Reynolds. He had been her ultimate solution, he embodied everything. She had always desired Rich to be connected. Thoroughly deceived by her meticulousness. Constructed persona their tumultuous romance. Resulted in a proposal after 6 months, Emma was unexpectedly making plans. The paramount societal nuptials. Marcus's workplace was situated in an unassuming structure. The downtown area is characterized by a lack of certain qualities. Attract attention ideal for an individual in his profession. He awaited my arrival. Upon my arrival, a substantial folder was present on his desk. He met me at Miss Mitchell's desk. Indicating a chair, I believe you will discover. This is intriguing. He accessed the folder. Distributing images and documents. Your sister's fiancé is not entirely what he appears to be. It appears. I inclined forward to scrutinize the evidence regarding Jason Reynolds emerged. Possessed secrets of his own. Would obliterate not only the wedding but Emma's complete, meticulously constructed. Are you certain about this feature? I inquired. Selecting and notably Danning. Marcus nodded solemnly at each photograph. A portion of it was confirmed, the inquiry concerning this. What do you wish to do with it? I reclined. Contemplating Emma in her purloined bridal outfit exuding confidence in her. I desire immunity from repercussions. Duplicates of all materials and subsequently for the. In the subsequent hour, Marcus and I devised a plan. It was not solely about acquiring my funds. It no longer pertains to teaching Emma an unforgettable lesson that evening. My phone illuminated with messages from our mother, imploring me to exercise reason and contemplation. I disregarded the entire family. Rather, I concentrate on structuring the information Marcus had supplied for construction. Eternal existence that would disrupt Emma's ideal. The following morning, I awoke to wedding arrangements. In an email from Emma, addressed to Sarah, I am aware. You are distressed, however, your behavior is immature. About this. The funds have been expended and deposits remitted. The contract has been executed, there is no recourse. Currently, aside from when I am married to Jason, I will own sufficient funds to compensate you adequately. Return, but exercise patience and refrain from jeopardizing this situation. Everyone loves Emma, her arrogance was evident. She was truly captivated by her belief. May abscond with my life savings and encounter no repercussions. That is the result of a lifetime of indulgence had instructed her that regulations did not pertain to her that she may undertake. I opened my laptop for her requests. I started drafting a reply, Dear Emma. Indeed, the funds have been expended, however. Prior to becoming overly complacent with that, I believed you might wish to inquire with Jason On his monthly excursions to Las Vegas and concerning Angela loves Sarah, I did not send it. However, shortly, Emma would acquire knowledge. Because her ideal life was not as stable as she contemplated over the ensuing days, I observed the wedding preparations. Continuing at a frenzied pace, Emma had incurred no costs in the creation. Her ideal occasion took place at a historic venue. Mansion located outside the city, the guest list. Notable local celebrities and politicians, and every aspect was perfectly orchestrated to wow Jason. I received an invitation from family. Mayo-hued cream paper adorned with gold. I did not overlook the irony of the embossing. Receiving an invitation to a wedding funded by my stolen funds, will you be responding to the invitation? Mother inquired throughout her call to ascertain my well-being. Emma earnestly desires your presence. I told her that I would not miss it for the world the preceding week. At the wedding, I encountered Marcus once more. He possessed more details regarding bank records, surveillance photographs of Jason's texts. Reynolds was not merely engaging in infidelity with Emma, he was engaged in a significantly more sinister matter. Are you certain you wish to proceed with? This inquiry was posed by Marcus while I examined the news. Evidence indicates that once initiated, there is no turning back. I recalled Emma's self-satisfied expression. A bridal boutique reflecting on years of observation. Her consumption and utilization as I labored and noted her utter absence of regret. Regarding the theft of my future, I am certain I articulated. She must thoroughly understand that acts will have repercussions on the morning of Emma's. The wedding commenced under a bright and cloudless sky, ideal for the occasion. I dressed for optimal weather conditions. Dressed in the light blue bridesmaids. The dress she selected while styling my hair. Cosmetic application with meticulous attention to detail. All necessary elements were present to maintain a facade of normalcy until the appropriate moment at the historic Reynolds. The mansion was metamorphosed into a fairy tale. Arranging white roses throughout the crystal. Chandeliers suspended from the garden canopy. Champagne flowing abundantly, the expense of the flowers alone likely equate to 3 months of my wage. Sarah, Emma's voice resonated as I entered the wedding suite where she was already attired in her garment, encircled by I was with bridesmaids and makeup artists. Concerned you would not attend and miss my I smiled upon meeting my sister on her significant day. Gaze in the reflection, never for an instant. An aura of uncertainty manifested. I sent my email directly to Angela. Must have disturbed her, although she never. She responded to it, and her response was flawless. The bride's mask was securely repositioned. Good, she remarked, going back to her. Reflection is essential for all aspects. Today, Jason's complete family is flawless. Here they are already present. She exhaled deeply, readjusting her veil. Let us proceed. State they possess specific expectations. The wedding must proceed precisely as intended. I thought about the manila envelope I had in my car. Concerning the texts I scheduled. Transmit at specific moments during the. Do not be concerned, Emma, everything will be okay. The event was conducted precisely as intended. Set for 4 p.m. at 2:30. Emma was getting her final photographs taken with. I sent the initial message to our parents. Jason comprises merely 3 terms with which I am familiar. Angela, I observed from the opposite side of the garden. As he read it, his complexion diminished significantly. Before he swiftly regained his composure, he scanned the surroundings in an attempt to acquire the sender. However, I was already departing at 3:15 before the ceremonial cocktail. An hour ago, I instructed Marcus to bring an envelope to. Jason's room included some images, but not all of them sufficiently to inform him that we I have encountered proof problems that I inquired about naively. Discovering Emma solitary for a little interval in the bridal suite, she was perfecting her pacing. Jason's dress swishing across the floor. Exhibiting peculiar behavior, she remarked while biting her lip. Meticulously applied lipstick he continually examines. His phone and vanishing you. Have you not communicated anything to him? Rearranged a flower in my bouquet. What is the status of the funds you appropriated from me? Regarding Angela, she immobilized Sarah, please. Refrain from this action today, I assure you I will. Reimburse you as you pledged to compensate. Blame mom and dad for your failure. Boutique or Mark for initial funding. You borrowed last year, I approached closer. You are not the sole individual capable of revealing. Emma's face hardened with secrets. Would not risk damaging this, the Ranald. Family may perhaps ruin you, nevertheless, they. Eliminate Jason first, and then you. Association before to her ability to react to our inquiry. Mother entered abruptly, Emma, dear, it is nearly time. The moment I departed, traveling towards. Guests were present at the ceremony place. The string quartet was performing while seated. Jason stood at the altar, observing. Becoming progressively painful at 355 minutes prior to the commencement of the ceremony. I sent him the final text and a video. That this instance is brief yet catastrophic. His face transitioned from pale to ashen as he. I observed it, ladies and gentlemen. The wedding planner's voice resonated, requesting attention. Please take your seats, the ceremony is about to commence. The music commenced, and the visitors rose. The doors opened for Emma's entrance. Upon her entrance, she was dazzling, our father. Radiating joy with her as they commenced their descent. They traversed the aisle halfway. Jason descended from the altar. He cannot articulate, his voice resonating in a sudden hush. I am unable to proceed, Emma. Her smile ceased, rendering Jason immobile. What are you? He stated, I am aware that you are cognizant. Concerning Angela, addressed directly to her. Was it Thompson who conveyed all the information to you? The perplexity on Emma's visage was authentic. What are you discussing, Jason? Who is Angela? And suddenly, as if on cue, a woman appears. I rose from among the guests. The subsequent minutes were tumultuous. It was shown that Angela was not merely Jason's mistress was his wife. The marriage in Las Vegas occurred 3 months ago. Genuinely legitimate and significantly a issue concerning the Reynolds family, specifically Emma's. Perfect Day experienced a dramatic collapse there. Jason's yells, tears, and accusations. The father had to be subdued from. His son is being assaulted, and guests are flooding the premises. Embarrassment or remain to observe the. Throughout the growing drama, I remained steadfast. Silently in my bridesmaid's gown. Observing my sisters meticulously assemble. The world is crumbling, she stated at last. You discerned me through her tears. This is not Emma, you made this choice. You victimized every individual from whom you appropriated. Each falsehood you uttered culminated in this outcome. At the time she lunged at me, then all. The facade of sophistication has vanished. I will eliminate you, you have destroyed everything we had. The father restrained her from proceeding. She shrieked and flailed her flawless arm. Her clothing was torn, and her makeup was smeared. Miss Mitchell Marcus emerged in tears. My elbow may currently be in a favorable condition. It is time to address the financial issues. Emma remained silent on financial matters. The initial theft of my savings. Stated calmly, the illicit entry to. The fraudulent transfers in my accounts. The cops are highly interested in the entirety of the matter. You would not, she said, your own sister, you ceased to be my sister the moment you chose to usurp my future. Turned to Marcus to demonstrate that he had opened his Extracting documents from a briefcase. Bank statements transfer documentation. Screenshots of Emma retrieving my. Descriptions of our parents' expressions diminished as they recognized the magnitude of her deceit. Emma, our mother, whispered, "What have you?" The fallout was both swift and. The Reynolds family is already in a grave situation. Reeling from Jason's scandal. Unrelated to any of it. Abducted him to address the Angela. Emma confronted a criminal problem discreetly. Charges of theft and fraud against our parents. Is compelled to recognize her true nature. Was indeed denied the opportunity to secure her release on bail. Moment the wedding vendors remain unpaid. Initiated legal action due to their anger. Was it worth it? I inquired of her subsequently. Visiting her at our parents' residence, where she has felt compelled to return home. Ideal day deserving the sacrifice of all she possesses. He remained silent and gazed out the window. Her flawless world was irrevocably destroyed. My funds were ultimately restored. Not simultaneously, but by a judicial process. Structured repayment plan that would need. Emma requires years to complete the wedding. Menders asserted that all other items were being sold. Remove the unused decorations and Emma's ideal garment to recover their losses. A year later, I resided in my new apartment PID. With the savings, I had reconstructed a. The wedding invitation rested on my coffee table. The table is not Emma's this time, but mine. My fiancé, in contrast to Jason, was truthful. Diligent and entirely authentic Emma. Although she was not invited, she continued to work. Her legal difficulties persist. Our parents continue to hold me accountable for this. Destabilizing her existence, which she never comprehended. Because she had accomplished that alone, driven by selfish motives. At one moment, my phone vibrated with a text from Marcus. He has commenced managing my corporate security post-wedding. DeBacco believed you would be interested to know, Jason. Reynolds has recently undergone divorce from both parties. I grinned while contemplating karma and the spouses. Repercussions. Emma desired perfection. Marriage at any expense. Instead, she would acquired a significant understanding of the cost of perfection as I commenced the planning of my own small, meaningful, and self-funded wedding. I have contemplated the essence of true love. Family should resemble reality, not a fantasy. A narrative constructed on deception and larceny, yet something authentic, robust, and tangible. Emma had selected her course, and now she was cohabitating with the implications for me. I was ultimately experiencing live my life according to my own principles. Legitimately acquired funds that held value beyond any ideal wedding day ever be.